Hello, everybody. Okay, so I'd like to start out by saying it's about time. I swear, I was beginning to have my doubts that you would ever actually settle down. I thought. You got it? Okay, thank you. I thought Ryan Case would live his life eternally as a nomad, wandering aimlessly from place to place, hoping to find something out there to give his life a bit of meaning outside of dispatching trucks and dealing with insurance claims. I'm very happy you proved me wrong. Let me tell you all a few things about my dear Uncle Ryan. First off, he's cheap as hell. No, I'm serious. I know you wouldn't think so based on this wedding and his house or his truck, but it's true. Kristina, you should know this. If you are ever going on a trip with Ryan, be prepared to stay at the cheapest spot he can find. Bloodstains on the wall, roaches on the floor, holes in the ceiling, it doesn't matter. He's not paying over $200 a night for a hotel room. An $80,000 truck, on the other hand, or a new boat he will take to the lake twice, or a new spider bike he will use once, those he considers worthwhile investments. But a suitable hotel room in which you don't have to fear for your life throughout the night, forget about it. Here's another interesting fact about Ryan. When you travel with him, you will likely have a near-death experience. My cousin Chandler, who's sitting over there, he knows exactly what I mean. Ryan took him to the Grand Canyon during record high temperatures and didn't pack enough water. That was a stroke of genius, truly. Or my brother Connor, who's around here somewhere. He was with Ryan on a hike when lightning struck both of them. No joke. And then there's me. Ryan and I took a genuinely amazing trip to Germany and Switzerland last year. There was just one minor issue. The train workers decided to go on strike. We had a hotel booked in Lucerne, Switzerland, and had to bus our way down from Germany. We ended up homeless outside the Zurich train station for the night with our luggage, waiting for the first train in the morning. It was definitely an experience I will never forget. This is what you have to look forward to, Kristina. So I really appreciate this honor of being able to say a few words, mostly at Ryan's expense. In all seriousness, though, I'm genuinely very happy for both Ryan and Kristina. Kristina makes Ryan happier than I have ever seen him before, and while we were overseas last year, he talked about her constantly. It is obvious how much he cares for her and her for him. I wish them nothing but happiness and the best, and I want you both to know that I'm always here if you need anything, and I'm sure the rest of the family and most people here feel the same way. Now, I'd like to raise a toast to the happy married couple, to Ryan and Kristina. Thank you, everybody.
Welcome, everyone. On behalf of the Fisher and Case families, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us with this marvelous expression of love and marriage between Ryan and Kristina. I'd also like to thank Ryan's parents, Tom and Linda, for the reception dinner that we had last night. Everybody had a great time. You guys did a wonderful job. Finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Leslie. She's done an incredible job working with Ryan and Kristina to make this a wonderful wedding and a wonderful reception. At many weddings, guests know a little bit about either the bride or the groom, but they don't necessarily know much about the other party. And so I thought it would be both informative and interesting to share a few stories with you. I feel like the luckiest dad in the world to have such a wonderful daughter as Kristina. And I'm sure you won't believe this, but she wasn't always a perfect angel. One time as a toddler, Leslie and I are sitting in the family room watching a movie. Kristina walks in with her little sippy cup and just says, "More, more." Leslie pops the top off, smells, says, "What is this? Where'd you get this?" She walks over to the refrigerator, opens the door. Does Kristina point to the water or the milk? No. She points to a box of white Zinfandel wine. Leslie and I still have no clue how she filled her sippy cup with white Zinfandel wine. But she slept very well that night. as she got a little older, Kristina took a lot of pride in outsmarting the babysitters. So one night, Leslie and I were out on date night. Babysitters told Kristina, it's time to go to bed. Well, Kristina disagreed. So when the babysitter took the dog to go outside to go to the bathroom, Kristina locked the babysitter out of the house. Fortunately, as an adult, she's become an incredible young woman. In fact, in 2009, Kristina was selected to be the sun goddess for the city of St. Petersburg. It was based on personality, accomplishments, poise, and appearance. Essentially, she became a goodwill ambassador for the city for an entire year. Kristina has not always been so adventuresome and fearless. In fact, when she was small, she would coerce her brother Eric pretty much every night before she went to bed to check in the closet, check under the bed, make sure there were no boogeymen before she would go to bed. So Ryan, I just want to let you know that's your job in the future. As a young woman, she drove a manual transmission NASCAR over 130 miles an hour before she had any experience with a clutch or a stick shift. I'm not sure how she got through the gears, but she did, got out on the track, and went over 130 miles an hour. She's also piloted loops in a T-6 Texan World War II airplane. She flew barrel rolls in a stunt plane. She scaled 60-foot-high rock cliffs. And she joined Ryan in jumping out of a perfectly good airplane at 20,000 feet, where they actually required taking on oxygen to get to that height. So Ryan, I also want to let you know, marrying Kristina, you're marrying a handy woman. She called me about a year ago, excuse me, and said, Dad, my air conditioner's not working. I said, well, it's a pretty old air conditioner. Probably need a new one. Call a technician. Did she? No. She went on the internet, diagnosed it as a starting capacitor, went out and bought one and replaced it herself, and her air conditioner worked just fine. She's also replaced like 3 toilets. She's replaced a pump in her dishwasher, and among other things. So she's a pretty handy woman to have around. When Ryan and Kristina first started dating 6 years ago, Kristina said, actually this is before Ryan agreed to go with her. She said, Dad, I'm going to go to Australia and New Zealand. I mean, she'd already gone by herself to Japan. She's an adult, so what could I say? But deep down inside, I'm like, beautiful young lady going off flying to Asia on her own, had some concerns. So I was delighted when Ryan said, hey, I'll go with you. So they went there together. On many of the hotel trips, there was only one bed in the room. Ryan insisted on putting pillows between them when they went to bed. And as Kristina's father, I was extremely impressed with his self-discipline and that he was a real gentleman. But years later, when they started dating again, I said, so is Ryan a very affectionate guy? Kristina said, Dad, he's the most affectionate guy I've ever dated. Sounds pretty encouraging for grandchildren. So, no pressure. So Ryan is a successful entrepreneur. It takes a lot of guts to start your own business. Also, it takes a lot of brains to make it successful. Fortunately, Ryan has both. But when I heard he owned a trucking company, I mentioned to Kristina, you know, he's running this trucking company. There's a lot of administrative work. He's probably locked at his desk all day long. She's like, oh, no, Dad. You know, when we go hiking in the Smokies and we're on that uphill climb and we're gasping for air, Ryan's one of those trail runners that runs right by us up to the top of the hill. Pretty impressive. Oh, I know the other thing you want to say. So she said, not only is he very athletic and in good shape, but he's very good looking. While in New Zealand, both of them jumped out of a perfectly good plane at 20,000 feet. Apparently, also, Ryan is a little bit of a daredevil. And the attendant asked him at one point whether he liked water. You know, it sounds like a pretty innocent question. Ryan said, sure, I like water. Don't everybody else? So the attendant then proceeded to drop Ryan head first, 100 feet, straight down, underwater. And hopefully we'll see some videos of that a little bit later. But I looked at that, and I would never do that. And I'm like, holy smokes, what some guys do to impress a girl. Both Ryan and Kristina like hiking, camping, travel, and dogs. Kristina has introduced Ryan to dancing, snow skiing, family game night, and target shooting. And Ryan's actually become a pretty good shot. I remember one of the first times that Kristina and I went recently, and she sent her target to Ryan because Kristina's an excellent shot with virtually any handgun, 9mm, 357 Magnum, whatever. And she sent him this target, and she's got this nice, tight pattern of bullet holes. And Ryan looked at that and said, geez, remind me never to tick you off. When Ryan asked for my blessing to marry Kristina, he said his only regret was not marrying her 6 years earlier. That's the way I felt. Became clear to me how much he loved Kristina when I saw the video that he put together. I don't know, how many of you have seen the video of the proposal? I mean, I know my wife shared that video with a number of her girlfriends, and there wasn't one that finished it and had dry eyes. The problem, Ryan, is you set the daggone bar too high for the rest of us guys, making us look bad. When Ryan asked for my blessing to marry Kristina, I said, if Kristina marries you, you'll be the luckiest guy in the world. And now that I've gotten to know Ryan a lot better, I think Kristina's pretty lucky too. So what I'd like to do, raise your glasses to celebrate the union of Kristina and Ryan, holy matrimony, and wish them a long, happy life together. Thank you.